Apologies in advance for gushing about this ridiculous series, but since this is the 1-year anniversary of this channel, I wanted to talk about something silly that I've recently fallen in love with. I haven't had this much fun reading Volume 1 of a new series since Konosuba, or The Devil is a Part-Timer. If you're looking for that next hidden masterpiece, the work that will create a new genre unto itself, this ain't it. However, if you want a page-turner that is laugh-out-loud funny, you should check out I'm the Evil Overlord of an Intergalactic Empire. Our story centers around Liam, reincarnated after dying from a sad and pathetic fate. He was betrayed and left in crippling debt by his ex-wife, who, as it turns out, was in cahoots with his former boss. Together, they framed Liam for embezzlement, heaped a ton of debt on his shoulders, and forced him to pay child support after his divorce for a kid that wasn't even his. As Liam lay dying, he comes to the realization that there are two types of people in this world: those who get stomped on, and those who do the stomping. We have no idea what this poor bastard's name was prior to being reincarnated, so I'm just using his new name. As he passes away, the guide comes to him, offering him the chance to choose what world he'll reincarnate to. Liam decides on a world with both science and magic. A universe where mankind has explored the stars, and the Empire spans the length of the galaxy, but can also use mana to cast spells. Liam promises to himself that this time, he will be the one who does the stomping. He will be an evil overlord, and all will fear him and despair. Time passes. Liam, age 5, is now the ruler of his own planet. His parents signed over their rulership to their 5-year-old son and skipped town to live on the capital planet, where they could party every night and not have any responsibilities. Before they left, Liam was allowed to order a doll, an AI android that looked human but would obey his every command. He even got to design her, so of course he puts her in a maid outfit, gives her a large pair of breasts, as well as combat capabilities, and she looks roughly like a classical Japanese Onesan. As a child, he would often have her carry him around while he fondled her breasts, much to the chagrin of the butler. Schooling in this universe is handled via sleeping pods. Liam spends 6 months asleep and learns everything he needs to know about running his planet: economics, governance, taxation. He also has all of his past life's memories. This is an Isekai after all. So when he wakes up and decides it's time to start squeezing and stomping the joy out of the people, he discovers that his parents and grandparents before them have been doing just that for the last century or two. You see, in this universe, people live much longer lives, and your coming of age isn't until 50. Old age is around 500 to 600 years in this universe. So Liam decides that in order to become evil, rich, and powerful, he needs to lower the taxes and start investing in his planet's infrastructure. Because how can you squeeze people for money as an evil overlord if they're already broke? He also dismantles and sells off a large portion of his armada. Most of the ships in the fleet were inoperable anyway. He sells the ridiculous home he's been living in and has a new, smaller, more practical mansion built. He fires his useless cleaning staff who were only hired for their looks and not their skills, and hires new, qualified individuals. He also hires a swordmaster to train him in the ways of the sword. Because if you're going to be an evil overlord, you gotta know how to kill people. Soon, Liam discovers just how corrupt his government is, so he uses his newly found sword skills to cut a minister in half. Heads literally rolled as he cleans up the government of his planet. The people rejoiced, taxes were lower, jobs were up, people were spending, and revenue was rising. Everyone seemed happy. And even the swordmaster training Liam was shocked at how far he'd come. In fact, since the swordmaster was in fact a first-rate con man, and a third-rate swordsman, he was shocked at how far Liam had come in just a few years. Nothing could prepare him for Liam actually learning both blind fighting and the flash cut, despite his swordmaster using tricks to make Liam think they were real. Later on, he has Liam learn how to pilot a 24-meter tall mech, a much older and harder to pilot model than the new 18-meter versions. Now, mechs like the ones from '86 are far more realistic as far as today's technology is concerned. Quadrupeds have better balance than bipeds, and it's easier to run on 4 legs than it is on 2. From a purely scientific standpoint, there is no reason to have a bipedal mech. However, in this universe, there is magic, and magic is how you pilot your mech. You basically expand your consciousness in order to control the mech, so it comes down to personal reality and the limitations of imagination. It's far easier for people to think of themselves in terms of 2 arms, 2 legs, a torso, and a head than 4 legs and a tail. The fun part about this series is how spectacularly Liam fails at being an evil lord. His people love him. His army respects him and would follow him into death. Those closest to him know he's a bit of a pervert. Openly groping his robot maid will do that. But he's never forced a woman into his bed, never executed someone who didn't deserve it, and raised the standard of living on his planet from medieval peasantry to a mostly modern society with hospitals, good jobs, and a thriving economy. All told, he's like a hero from Legends. A hero who longs desperately to be a villain. And therein lies the comedy of this story and the central part of why I love it so much. This book is laugh-out-loud funny. The opening scene of this book is actually a clip from near the climax. Liam is cackling as he gleefully crushes enemy after enemy in his giant mech. He's laughing as he hears their screams for mercy. He genuinely thinks he's being a villain, but Liam's soldiers just shrug it off and follow after him, in awe of his battle prowess. Since this is a world of both magic and science, we get to see how the two interact with each other. One of the best examples of this is Liam using spatial magic to keep rocket launchers in while piloting his mech. He opens a portal, pulls a new rocket launcher out of it, blows up a bunch of enemy mechs or ships, tosses the expended launcher, and then repeats the process. The book is packed with scenes like that. Little snippets of world building rather than entire pages or chapters that feel like data dumps. As Liam learns more and more about this universe, the audience also learns. That being said, most of the comedy in this series comes from the dichotomy of Liam's view of himself in comparison to how others view him. About half the series is told from Liam's point of view, but he's an unreliable narrator. What's funny is when we get scenes from other characters' points of view, and we see exactly what's going on and how ridiculous it all is. As I stated earlier, if you're looking for a new masterpiece, this ain't it. But if you're wanting something fun and silly, you should absolutely pick up a copy of I'm the Evil Lord of an Intergalactic Empire today, either from Seven Seas Entertainment or Bookwalker. Volume 2 is available right now digitally, but the physical one releases on March 15th. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cute Stuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, there's a link to her Fiverr page below. Please like and subscribe for more content. I post new anime, manga, or light novel videos every Wednesday and Saturday. Or you can click here for more fantasy or isekai content. Stay safe, and I'll see you all again next time on Musings by Danon.